Unique family. My name is Deborah Joseph, and I am the Vice President of Sales for Unique in Canada. And we are here today to talk about everything YouTube. And I have someone who is all about YouTube and probably one of the best people, best presenters that we have that could actually speak about this topic. So I'm really excited to introduce everyone to Canadian Green Status presenter Rochelle Garrison-Cocomello, who has really the coolest name ever.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Rochelle, and welcome to our training pod.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I'm truly a YouTube enthusiast too. So when you asked me to speak on this, I'm beyond delighted. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day. So I think we should just get right into it because we've got a lot of really great material that you want to share, some amazing tips and ideas, and I think it will make YouTube really relatable and achievable for every one of our presenters. And these are new presenters, so this is sometimes a whole new territory for them. So I think all the advice they can get right at the beginning is the best way to start really strong. So let us get started. I guess the first thing is we know about Facebook, we know about Instagram, we know about Pinterest, and sometimes YouTube is sort of the forgotten social media platform. So why do you think it's so important for presenters to have a YouTube channel?
That's such a good question. So YouTube is actually the dominant video platform. I don't think a lot of people actually think about that or know that. And 1.5 billion logged in users watch over an hour of video per day. So that's just logged in users alone. That is a huge audience that you can actually tap into, right?
For sure.
Also, what's really cool is YouTube is the second largest website and the second largest search engine in the world. So Google is #1 in both of those categories, and YouTube is #2, and Facebook's actually #3, and it's not a search engine. So YouTube is bigger than Facebook. That alone right there is a huge reason to be on YouTube, right? Also, Google owns YouTube, and why that matters is when people are searching for things, Google is going to purposely rank YouTube videos higher in searches than other blog articles or what have you. So a lot of times, I don't know if you've seen this, Deborah, but let's say I'm searching for something in Google and there might be, you know, best mascara 2018. Maybe there'll be 3 or 4 videos in my search results first, and then regular search items come up. So it's in Google's interest to keep you on YouTube, so you can really take advantage of getting found more quickly by being on YouTube.
That's incredible.
It's really fascinating, hey? So speaking of that, YouTube is basically worldwide free sorry, I'm gonna start that again. YouTube is worldwide distribution for free. So you can currently navigate YouTube in 76 different languages, which is phenomenal.
Wow.
And as Unique grows in, as we expand in different global marketplaces, that's really important for us and just makes it so much easier. I ended up doing, when we launched in Italy, I put up an opportunity video on YouTube, but I ended up recruiting a handful of complete strangers just from that video alone, no other connections, because people found me there. It's a search engine, and it really is that global distribution we have for free. The last thing I want to mention quickly about YouTube is the lifespan. This is really cool because we're all about working smarter, not harder, and this is such a good way to take advantage of your video marketing efforts. So why? Facebook has an average lifespan, their posts, of approximately 5 hours. Wow. On YouTube, a video has an approximate lifespan of about 20 days. So what does that mean? Well, yes, you can go and dig and find videos that are 3 years old, or on Facebook, the same thing. But what's going to organically show up to you is going to really die out quickly on Facebook. And YouTube has a lot longer lifespan. So put your video marketing efforts there.
That's incredible. Those are some really, really great tips. So I think that would sell most of us on the need for a YouTube account, a YouTube channel. as an independent, unique presenter. So now that we're sold into why we should have one and the benefits that we can leverage from that, how about you walk us through how to set that account up?
Sure, you betcha. So first things first, you're going to need a Google account before you create a new YouTube channel. You may have one, you may not. You'll know by trying to log into YouTube. If not, they're going to pop you over to Google to create one, or you can simply go to accounts.google.com to set one up. After that, you're going to go and sign into your YouTube channel. You're going to click on the profile icon at the top right-hand side of the screen. Click on My Channel. If you're using your own name as a personal brand, you're going to enter your name here. If you're using a business name, you're going to choose use a business or other name and click create. And it's really the basics of setting up a channel. That's really all it takes.
That's amazing. That is pretty simple.
Yeah, that's it. It's a name. That's all. So, but let's talk a little bit about branding your channel. And I think it's so important. And just to put it into perspective, I don't know about you, Deborah, but I wouldn't walk into a store that had no signage, no logo, no decoration. I would say, I don't know what that's about. I'm not going to guess and waste my time. And
agree.
Yeah, and you wouldn't waste your time subscribing to a YouTube channel that was seemingly about nothing either.
Right.
So yeah, you need to decorate it. And this is the fun part, I think, and that's really part of your branding. You need to give them a reason to subscribe. So first you're going to upload a profile photo, make sure it's a photo of yourself. You do this actually in your Google account. It will pop up. You simply hover over the icon on your YouTube account and there'll be a little camera icon and it will take you right to your Google account to upload a photo. You just want to make sure it's a clear headshot of yourself so people can see who you are. Part of our brand. Your own branding, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You are your own model for your own business.
Right. Yeah, your face is your business card, right?
Totally is.
The next part is the about section. So I think sometimes people forget to fill this out. It's really important. So, and also I'm guilty of this. You really want to put the most important information in the first 3 sentences. So I used to have Rochelle, mom of 2 in the first sentence. And then I went into my channel, mom of 2 from Montreal, Quebec. And that's not what my channel is not about Montreal, Quebec, or even necessarily being a mom of 2. So that could be further down if you wanted to include it. You want to talk about what your channel is about. Maybe there's a tagline or 2, and then also make sure to include some social links. There's a part at the bottom here to include social links.
Great idea.
Yeah, and they will actually hover over your cover photo, so people won't have to dig for those social links. So it's really important to include them there.
Okay, and those would be links like your Facebook account. If you have a Pinterest or an Instagram, those are the links that you're referring to?
That's right. You can also add a blog link as well, a blog link there too. And then we want to talk about your cover photo. So this is totally prime real estate. You want to use it wisely. You want your name across the top or whatever your brand of your channel is called. And then you want a tagline or something that lets people know what they can expect. So on mine is Living Rich Slowly. I go for like an entrepreneurship slow life kind of push. But that could be makeup tips for moms. It could be beauty tips every Tuesday, just to let people know what to expect.
Right.
And if you don't, I think some people get hung up on, oh no, I don't have a tagline. Don't worry about it. Pick 3 keywords: makeup, motherhood, gluten-free, whatever, just to let people know what your channel is about in that area.
Okay.
And to make the cover photo, I recommend Canva. It's just a free online software. They have all the cover photos pre-sized. So
yeah, Canva's a really great app to use for anything that you want to brand yourself with.
Totally. And you can save it so then you have a nice complete branding package for yourself, which is free. So,
yes, and it's free, no royalties, so you're not infringing on anything when you use any of the images or the font. So it's awesome.
That's a really good point. That's such a good point. And just the last thing about branding, I don't get too hung up on it. A lot of people do. They worry about if it's going to be perfect or not. Just pick 4 to 5 words that you would want people to know about you. So maybe that's like for me, it's slow-paced life, entrepreneurship, etc., and make sure that those are just obvious through your channel and you have done your job.
That's amazing. Now, I guess if you choose those words and you decide after that they're maybe not the best choices, or you want to swap a couple out, you can do that at any time or add another social media platform. I mean, it's very fluid in that sense in terms of what your page looks like. Is that right?
Absolutely. You can change anything at any time as much as you could on Facebook. So you can test things out, see what's work,
Yeah.
see what, and change it as you go along.
That's awesome. That's so super cool. Now, the other thing we hear everybody talk about when it comes to Facebook is the dreaded A word, algorithms. And so we all know that they impact who sees what and when they see it, or how often they see it, or what feeds they're privy to on a regular basis. So what can you share about those same algorithms that would affect YouTube?
That's a really good question, Deborah. And I think algorithms, if you respect them, they can really change how your business works too. Yeah. So on Facebook, like we're all familiar with Facebook, as you mentioned, right? So Facebook, the goal is to pop up in people's news feeds. You want to be seen organically in people's news feeds, and you do that. Facebook weights that based on shares, comments, reactions. On YouTube, your initial goal is to really show up in search results, and then the homepage, and suggested videos. Right. So they actually put a lot of weight on watch time. So how long a viewer is actually watching your video. They do take into account likes, comments, and subscribers, but watch time is actually really the heaviest one. So on Facebook, on Facebook, where your goal is to get audience interaction. On YouTube, your goal is actually video retention, audience retention. You want people to stay watching that. So when I say that too, I just wanted to share a couple of video tips to really show how you can get people to stay watching. So absolutely. So yeah, I have 4 of them. And number 1 is that content matters more than production. I'm really guilty of this. I always want, tempted. I'm like, no, I need lighting. I need a backdrop, a camera, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't need any of that. You need to produce high value in your content. And then production is just, if you have a phone, if you have a window and an uncluttered background, that is all you need. I have all of my videos that have over 1,000 views. That's all I've used. So it's really about what you're talking about and how concise and how much value you can add in that. That's going to matter.
And I suppose in that same vein, then, the less produced it is, the less perfect it is, also the more relatable it is for a lot of people, depending on who your target actually is for viewership.
I think you're really right, Deborah. And I think especially in our platform as direct sales, and when we're looking to help other people build their businesses, we want to give them a realistic way that they too can market to other people. That's not going to cost them a lot of money. It's really as simple as, phone, window, uncluttered background, you're good to go. Anyone can truly do this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's attainable. Yeah.
Great tip.
Thank you.
What else do you have for tips? Because I know there's more.
There's more. Yes, I have 3 more. So the next one is educational content really performs the best on YouTube. That works so well with us in direct sales. We're all about teaching, whether that be makeup and skincare, or maybe just how to have your own business. We can really hone in and use that to our advantage. Right. The best thing to do is to really just to make searchable content. So you can do that. The best way is to make sure your title has 1 of 3 words in it: tutorial, review, or how to. And that's going to get your videos found organically. And then people will find what they want, which means they will watch it for a longer period of time.
Right, right.
And then I have my notes here, pardon me. So tip number 3 is just to make sure that your videos are under 10 minutes. And I think when people see a single digit in front versus a double digit, they're already more likely to watch that. And it makes sense. I mean, if I saw how to highlight and contour a 7-minute video versus a 15-minute video, I know that 7-minute video is, I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes of it within a shorter amount of time. Yep. So I'm more likely to watch that. So it's respecting your viewers' time too.
Yeah, I completely agree. When I see a long video, I oftentimes just scroll right by it. I just don't have the time. Most of us don't have the time. Or I fast forward it and I hope I don't miss anything that is the meat and potatoes of the longer videos. So yeah, I think shorter is definitely better if it's good content.
Yeah, and you're so right. I would do the exact same thing as you, Deborah. Like I'd love to watch 5 hours of videos every night.
Me too.
I don't have time. So
Yeah,
I
that's a
need it
dream
short
world.
and concise, right? So,
Yep.
and that brings me to my last tip and getting people to stay watching, because we want these shorter videos, but we want them watching longer. So what do we do? Well, so you want to prepare complementary content. So I know we've been taught to, maybe batch film videos. Maybe you have a Saturday, you film 4 videos all at once. Mm-hmm. But if you make them related to each other, it also really helps, basically like a series. So you could do skincare for oily skin part 1, or you could do, 2 eye looks using Unique's palette 4, and then have a part 1, part 2. It keeps them short. But also, as an example too, like I did a skincare training series for my team. I put it on YouTube, and I talked about each product that we have. I broke them down into about 6-minute videos. Now, why did I do that? Well, one, like I said, as we had talked about, you want a single digit, right? You want a shorter amount of time. But 2, you touched on this too, which is, if it was a 48-minute long video and you wanted to learn about shine floss, are you going to go and like try to skim through and find out where that is? It's too much time and effort. But if you saw a 6-minute video on shine floss, you'd be much more likely to watch the full thing. And then in the video and in the title, it shows that it's part of a series, because I'll say, oh, this is episode 6. You can see it in the title. So then you might say, oh, you know what? I also need to learn about rose water. So now you've watched 12 minutes of content instead of 0 of the 48-minute video that I had.
Exactly. It's a great approach. It's really on point.
Oh, great. Thanks. So, yeah, and that is my last tip.
That is so cool. So, you've been doing YouTube accounts for a while, and I've seen a number of your videos, and I've even seen other organizations talk about your videos. So I'm really curious to know of tips that you have when you're getting started with your account.
There's a couple people think, sorry, I'm gonna say that again. Yes, there's a couple things that can add to your YouTube experience. And first, there's one called, it's playlist. So if you haven't heard of a playlist, it's basically a grouping of videos organized by theme and on your channel. So it could be wedding looks, it could be makeup tips for everyday people. And this does a couple of things. One, when people come to your channel, it's really easy for them to find what they're looking for.
Right.
Wedding looks. I don't want to dig through all these videos to pick and choose them. It makes it easier for them. But also, the chances of your entire playlist being ranked in a search is much higher. And then if that happens, now people are going to maybe batch watch your videos, which again puts more weight on them and helps the YouTube algorithm and keeps people on your channel longer.
That's so cool. I love the idea of grouping things together, because I think that's how we search for things. So if we're talking about eyes, we would like to know what the products are that are specific to the eyes or to skincare or to the lips. So it's a smart way to do it. It sort of is how we shop for things as well.
That's a very good point. Yeah. And if you're looking, you're essentially giving them what they want. Instead of just one option, you're giving them 5 options of what they're looking for. So it's pretty fun. So to create a playlist, first you need to, you have to create a blank playlist. So you would click customize channel, then you would go playlists and then new playlist and name your playlist here. Now that's just going to create an empty box for you to add videos in. Right. So to add videos, you're going to go to my channel, then creator studio. You're going to select the videos that you want to be added to the playlist. Then go to the dashboard and click View Channel. You're going to click Customize Channel. And then here you can scroll to the bottom and click Add Section. And you can choose, I use the setting Single Playlist, Horizontal Row, My Playlists, and then choose Playlist. And YouTube allows you to display playlists in different ways. I find the linear or horizontal way just the most appealing to most viewers, but it's completely up to you.
That's super cool.
The second sort of extra channel tip is to have a channel trailer. So this is essentially the red carpet layout, the red carpet that you lay out to get your viewers to subscribe to your channel. So a new visitor will visit your channel. There's one video that is larger. It's usually 30 seconds to a minute. And it's truly a trailer. It's just letting people know what you're about, what kind of videos they can expect. And you want to make sure to mention to subscribe in that video as well. You actually need to remind people to subscribe or they won't do it.
Got it.
And then the last tip, the extra tip I have is custom thumbnails. So YouTube kindly generates its own thumbnails for you, but they're always, they're like those random, awkward, low res, you know, you're in the middle of talking.
Always the worst possible snapshot from your video. And Facebook does the same thing. I see so many people share those pictures with thank you, Facebook, for that very flattering shot of me.
It's so comical. They somehow get the worst angle ever every time.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you do the same thing. So thankfully, you have the option to upload your own customizable thumbnail, which is great because you can add your own branding to it, some text that goes along, you know, whatever color style you have. Just the one thing to note, you need to verify your account first in order to upload your custom thumbnail. It's quite easy to do. If you go into the Creator Studio and hit Channel, there's an option near your icon. It just says Verify Account, and you click it, and you're done. They're just making sure you're not a robot, essentially.
Right, right. That's so cool. So you talked a bit about this earlier, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't know, and that is that YouTube is a search engine. I think it's mostly thought of as a place where there's lots of videos. I don't really feel that people leverage it as a search engine and how valuable it can be as that tool, besides Google as an example, like you mentioned, and how high it ranks when you talk about a search engine. So people can go there to learn things and to find facts. So knowing that, what else can you do to show up in more searches? So what tips would you have for someone to make sure that when there's a search, they're one of the ones that pops up?
I'll give you some tips here. And I do think you're so right that people don't realize that it is a search engine. And when you start a YouTube channel, you're going to be relying on those searches until you get a good subscriber base. That is the way that people are going to find you, is through searches. So to show up more in those searches, you can do a couple of things. The first thing is your title topic. This is actually really important. And you can check for this before you name your video. So for example, if you go to the search bar in YouTube, let's say you type in work from home. You'll notice, now you have to do this from a desktop to get this answer, but at the top it will show you how many search results there are from work from home.
Okay.
And there are, when I type that one in, there's 185 million results for that. So the chances of you showing up in that search are quite low. So what you want to do is you want to niche your title way down and be more specific. So then if I try how to afford to be a stay-at-home mom as a search, now I'm only getting about 200,000 search results. So that's still big, but significantly smaller. And the chances of me showing up in that pool are higher. You basically want to make that pond smaller. So you could even niche it down, how to be a stay-at-home mom in Canada or in Florida or what have you, and just really test to give yourself an idea of how much, how big that pool is, because you want to be the bigger fish in the small pond, essentially.
Absolutely.
So the second thing is title length. So just as you're titling that, you usually want to keep it around 60 characters because it starts to get lost. People just can't read it. It's cut off. So that's really important. And if you have, when we talked about doing series, so if you have an episode number or part 1, part 2, episode 6, whatever, keep that at the end because that's very much secondary info to anybody searching for. The third tip is just to fill out your descriptions and tags for each video. So after you upload a video, you want to write a description. 1 to 2 paragraphs is usually really good. A lot of times I will literally just copy and paste some of my scripts that I've done, just reiterating what I've said in my video. And as far as tags, I think people get a bit nervous about having the right tag and capitalization. It doesn't matter. YouTube doesn't care if you capitalize unique or not. They'll treat the search results the same. So they're going to use those tags, the description, and your title to all decide who to show your video to. So it's important to make sure that those 3 areas are filled out.
Right.
Yeah. And the last tip is basically just to immediately promote your video after you've published it. YouTube tends to pay attention to like the first 24 to 48 hours after publishing. So make sure you announce it across, all the social media platforms, your email, your blog. Another fun tip is to put it in your email signature. So instead of just, unique by Jane Smith or whatever, you could put new video and then have the video link, and that kind of piques people's interest. And
great idea.
Yeah, it's more interesting than just a standard corporate shop site, which is great to have, but the clicking rate will be higher if you change it from time to time. So.
Right. Now, a question for you about tags. Are tags in YouTube the version of Facebook's hashtags, for example?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's that same version. And then one other question, and that's about the viewing piece. So I know on Facebook, a view is as long as someone clicks and watches the video for, I think it's 3 or 5 seconds. It's a super short amount of time when you think about it, because they really haven't viewed an awful lot. Is there a number for YouTube that you have to watch a certain number of minutes of a video for it to count as a view, or how does that work?
From my understanding, a view is 1 second from my understanding. Okay.
So very similar to Facebook then.
Yeah, it's a similar idea to Facebook. That's why YouTube doesn't put a lot of weight on it, because to them, if a view's 1 second, but watch time could be 30 minutes, and that holds so much more weight than just I clicked on, I saw it, and I clicked off. So the views, that's why they matter so much less. But yeah, from my understanding, it's 1 second. But
so watch time is that golden nugget that you're really looking to hit.
That's right. You show people that you're the place, that you've got valuable content. So.
Yeah, you're the one to watch. Exactly. That's so awesome. So you shared a lot of good tips, and I guess I'm curious to know if you have any call to action for our new presenters who are watching today.
I do. I would really, really encourage you to start your own YouTube channel. You saw how simple it was. It takes no time at all. And it's such a big platform. It's where everybody's watching video, and you can leverage yourself here on a booming platform.
All right. Well, that is so amazing. Rochelle, thank you so very much for all of those amazing tips. I'm hoping that our new presenters watching will really run with them and add YouTube as one of the other ways that they have to promote their business, to promote Unique as an opportunity with our great products, and of course, as a really great community of uplifted, empowered, and validated women. So thank you so much for joining us, Rochelle. Great to be with you today. And thank you to everybody for watching. And we will look forward to seeing in the comments below where you are on your YouTube journey. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Deborah.